Alrighty guys, we're gonna get into my video that will be uploaded on Friday when I will be doing my live stream with some of my watchers and platooning with them. But for now, we are going to go through and look at the mighty E100, which I think is one of the better tier 10s at the moment. It received some love a couple patches ago, getting a pen buff. Um, it's a pretty strong tank. I'm rocking the Tokyo Games camouflage on it, which I like to call the Damascus armor profile. Um, looks pretty cool. Anyways, this tank is not nearly as well armored as the mouse, but it is still a giant hunk of steel that can put a hurting out on the enemy. We're going to do a quick run through of the stats, and then we will do a quick look at the armor, and then we'll get into 2 bits of gameplay. So let's go right in now into stats. I am running the health point boost, so I do have 2,415 hit points, 200 millimeters of frontal hull armor, 120 on the sides, and 150 on the rear. Turret armor, you're talking about 250 on the turret face, 150 on the sides, and 150 on the rear. This tank is a huge tank. 129 tons, 129.86 tons, we'll call that 130 tons. 1,344 horsepower, 30 kilometer per hour uh, speed limit, 26 track horse, which is actually pretty good. 19 degrees of turret, which is not very good. This tank does have a 150 millimeter gun, which I have equipped on it. It is the better gun. Do not use the 128. Just don't. Um, so I'm getting 4.14 rounds per minute, 4-second aiming time, 0.362 accuracy, and 200 meters of view range. The buff on this tank means that it has 258 millimeters AP pen, 334 of heat, and 85 of heat HE, which is very good. Um, it's very useful for the sides and rears of a lot of tanks at tier 10 and tier 9, and uh, even for Hing the top of like T95, T110E3s, you're still going to be doing 3 to 4 to 500 per shot. 15% of it being set on fire, and we've already done the armor. So let's hop into the armor inspector here. Straight on here, looking into the armor, we're going to take a look at this tank from the perspective of the IS-7 using AP first. So straight on, you can notice that this tank does have one very obvious weak point. It would be this big, giant, juicy lower plate that people love to shoot. If you angle it, you can get it starting to be a little bit red, but then you start showing you a little bit of your drive wheel. Your turret has this bar up on the top, which can be penned, and you also have this lower turret ring area, which if you're face hugging, um, just zoom in here, simulate face hugging. People love to shoot the corner here. Anyways, getting back out, that's getting ahead of myself. Let's go back into 200-ish meters. Again, looking at the front of this tank, you can see at range, if you can hide your lower plate, your front of your tank's pretty strong against AP and APCR. However, against some heavy tanks, what I like to do is I like to just angle my turret, because people will spam APCR at the front of your turret. So if you angle your turret like this and angle your armor, point the corner of your turret at the enemy, give it a little bit of wiggle, you can see that the turret starts blinking back and forth. The angle on the turret is really necessary, especially if people are firing heat, because heat really just doesn't like angled armor. I'm gonna take a look at the side of the tank. Even when you're directly dead side with APCR, the side armor is still incredibly strong because it has a lot of spaced armor, a lot of track, and then even more armor. It's just shoot below the spaced armor. It'll save yourself a lot of heartbreaks. Side of the turret, big and flat. People can use Hesh against the side of that. Rear of the tank, no surprises there. Side again. So pretty much this tank, along with a lot of other, uh, well, along with the mouse, it's all about angling the front of your turret in between shots. So, as say you're side scraping, I will point just the corner of the turret like this and just wiggle back and forth. So as I'm moving, the side in front of my tank, so the lower plate is hidden, and the side of my turret is blinking between pennable and not pennable. So if they shoot it, it's going to be about 50-50 whether or not it goes in. You want to make it very hard, and this tank can be very, very, very resilient if you can get the right angle on the turret and such. I'll go ahead and do gameplay that will show you a 3k damage block game. So we will get into the gameplay right now. Alrighty guys, getting into the gameplay here, we're going to start with the E100. Really like this tank. I think it is my best tank at tier 10. We are going to be on Lost Temple. We have a Batchat, a Battle Hardened, Jaegeru, a Batchat 25 TAP, E75, and M46 on my team. Enemy team has a couple of TDs, a couple of medium tanks, and a couple of heavies. So, I'm just gonna push up to the temple. This is a pretty big and heavy, nasty tank. It is considered a super heavy. Despite the fact that it doesn't have the most resilient armor profile, it's still pretty damn strong, as we will see here. I am rocking the Damascus camouflage on it because I just think it looks really, really, really cool. Anyways, whereas if I'm in like an IS-7 or something, I'm going to go onto the steps. I have been the only heavy tank on my team to go here, so, and as well as in my side scraping heavy tanks, I go to this rock. I really like this rock. I can side scrape around two ways, hit people up on the steps. I can side scrape out here and shoot TDs who are camping those bushes in the back near their spawn. Just looking around, have my turret locked forward. This is really where, oh, bounce first shot. This is really where PC controls and the ability to lock your turret facing one direction is a good thing because it allows me to look around and bounce shots. Put a shot there into the enemy M46. The pen on this thing was recently buffed, so it's pretty damn good. Now I'm just angling around, try to keep my turret in line with my hole. Bounce another shot. That was off the front of my turret after I did a quick little angle. Put another one into the M46 there. Just gonna go back to my rock. Start side scraping out. At this point, I was trying to farm a steel wall metal, so I'm deliberately giving the Type 61 a better shot. Derp that shell, completely missing him. Pretty bad shot on my part. Again, I'm just gonna show them a lot better angle. I do get penned, I think they're in the view bar on top of my tank. Bounce 2 there, bounce a heat and an APCR shell from the Type 61 and IS-7. There you can see that the HE on this tank showing its worth, as I'm able to put a 200 shot into the hold down IS-7 there. I could have probably gotten more if I had a better aiming, but I didn't want him to pop out, put one back into me. Bounced another heat shell. I bounced an APCR shell slightly earlier. I forgot to switch over from HE, yet another problem that I've always had, and that would have gone into the Type 61. Instead, it hits the wall and doesn't do anything. Our Battle Hardened decides to push up. I'm trying to get a shot into the M46, derp it into the stairs because I wasn't quite reloaded. Our Battle Hardened decided to go full tilt in, so I get stuck on the rock there for a little bit, but I decided to go in and help him. It also looked like there were some people behind me, and the Battle Hardened needed some help. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to get up onto the steps. I'm going to try to do my best to hide my lower plates. Just going to give these guys something to shoot at. Put one nice 700 plus roll there on the IS-7. Just side scraping. Locking my turret one way. Enemy E100 fired. I want to get the kill on this IS-7. I zoom in a little bit. Managed to still get the kill on him. I'm lucky that didn't derp into his side armor. Again, I'm going to slightly over angle here and just try to wiggle and jiggle my way into a bounce. Bounce. E100. I fire HE at the front of his turret to do about 350. He does the same thing to me. Now I'm surrounded, so I'm going to back off the enemy E100, deal with this Type 61, but luckily our Batchat takes him out. So now I can focus on the E100. I'm going to load up heat and try to get one through his turret cheeks. do it there. Angle my turret, bounce an AP shell from him with a last second jiggle and wiggle. Load HE, gonna go for the kill here. Just want to make sure. Derp. Get the kill there, 350 plus damage. Yeah, it's tank's all about angling your turret, angling your hull, side scraping, doing whatever you can to make them not be able to hit your lower plate or the front of your turret with premium or the side of your turret with premium. Angle your shots between, or angle your turret between shots, and just try to tank it out. It's reasonably mobile. It's reasonably good at track traverse. Its AP pen's it's pretty much on par with most of the other tanks at this tier. It has really good premium shells. It has a lot of alpha front loaded, so it's a very good trading tank. 3.6k damage. So not too terrible. I'm gonna hop into the second bit of gameplay here. Now, I am platooned with another person from Heater, Greta M, and his/her E100, not quite sure. Enemy Grille complaining. So, on this map, there is, especially with tanks that can side scrape really well, there are a couple places that you can use. I'm actually going to go to this building here. It's slightly angled at a weird way, so it's harder to side scrape, but there's a bush here that I can use. So they might be able to spot me, but they won't be able to see the armor model of my tank. So it'll be a lot harder for them to see whether or not they can pin the side or front of my turret when I'm angling my turret between shells. I put a blind shot there into the bushes because I know from past experience a lot of people that like to go there. Jaegeru pops out. Looks like I might have been able to hit that enemy Jaegeru, but I don't quite put it in. Aiming in. This tank does have a pretty long aim time, but I derped that shell into the upper plate. Our Jaegeru gets tracked. Friendly mouse is going to push in. I am spotted. I have my turret angled toward the enemy. Don't know whether or not that hit. We have 2 or 3 guys down there in the depression. I think that did hit. Feathering Jaegeru to see if I have a shot. Don't quite have a shot. T-57 Heavy comes up. Track him. And then now we have 2 flankers behind us. So this is very dangerous. E100 is not nearly as good when you have tanks behind you. So I've taken 2 shots. Our friendly E100 is asking for help. I don't quite pen the HE shell there. I love STBs, especially the side of them, because if you can pen the HE, you can do 960 average. It's pretty good. So I'm just gonna decide to push here. See if the grille's gonna come out. He doesn't, so I decided the heck with it. Let's go. I will eat a shot from the STB to kill him. If I don't kill him, I track him, allow my friendly E100 to finish him off. IS-4 is dueling with our mouse, or STB. STB doesn't quite get the kill on him, dies. Friendly E100 my platoon mate puts a shot into him. I put another one, get the kill. 2 people left now. Full health grill, and I'm just thinking juicy HE damage. So I'm gonna go hunting for him. I'm gonna ignore the last enemy heavy tank wherever he is. Except he's over there, so I'm spotting him. Platoon mate puts a nice shot into him. Load AP, get the kill, and now I'm just gonna go. Reasonably mobile. Probably should have capped here, but I really wanted to feast on the grille's hit points. Not a great demonstration on how this armor works, but this thing has a huge hit point pool, so I know I can take 1 or 2 shots, and I can potentially 2-shot him with HE if I pen both shells. So, and in a brawl, I'm better than a grill, definitely in terms of armor. So if I get a bounce, good. If not, I have a friendly platoon mate who can help. We have 2 heavy tanks camping, so I'm fairly confident that I can get in there, bounce a shell from him, eat it with my tracks, just go up this hill, giving him all day to shoot my lower plate, but he shoots my upper plate. Put an HE shell into him, ram him, and now it's just all over. And he bounces another shell, and he sits there and accepts his fate, and I kill him. So pretty decent game there. I really just like pushing with this tank, being really aggressive in instances like that. You can really dominate medium tanks. I got a first class, 444 damage. Um, Pretty much just angle your turret and drive toward the enemy. Put derpy shells in, load HE against soft targets, load AP against hard targets, load heat against IS-7s. Thanks guys for showing up. Thank you so much for the support. Um, Giveaway will be closed in 6 days from now, so go ahead and send a share out on that video. Let people know about my channel. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Goodbye and tank on.